I've got 10 sleepers you need to draft after round 10 in 2025 fantasy football, starting with Buccaneers rookie wide receiver Emeka Egbuka. I'll admit I was a bit concerned about Emeka Egbuka's 2025 outlook when he landed with the Bucs in the first round. I was worried about where he would fit into the lineup with the established Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, plus the mini breakouts that we got last year from Cade Otton and Jalen McMillan. But now Chris Godwin is still not healthy from last year's ankle injury. It sounds like he's had some setbacks. And on top of that, Emeka Egbuka is having a phenomenal training camp. He's getting hyped up by beat reporters on a daily basis, as well as Bucs coaches and players, including quarterback Baker Mayfield. I liked Egbuka during the pre-draft process. He was easily a top 3 wide receiver in this class. He's a physical slot receiver whose game should translate well to a productive role in the NFL. He's a detailed route runner who is smooth getting in and out of his breaks. He creates easy separation with incredible quickness, lateral agility, and change of direction. And the play isn't over once he has the ball in his hands. Emeka Egbuka is excellent at creating additional yardage after the catch. He had a phenomenal college career, leading Ohio State as the school's all-time leader in catches with 205 and receiving yards. And now he's already translating that to the NFL and is in position to have a great rookie season. His ADP is certainly on the rise, but he is still massively undervalued with an ADP outside the top 120 on ESPN, NFL.com, and Yahoo platforms. That is about as great of a value as you will find in 2025 fantasy football. I would and have been happily drafting him multiple rounds ahead of that ADP. Let's head over to the quarterback position. It's a really good year to draft late round quarterback. Let's talk about Vikings new starter JJ McCarthy. After the Vikings drafted him 10th overall, he wound up tearing his meniscus during the preseason, and he missed the entirety of his rookie campaign. But he showed the team enough to believe he could be the uncontested starter in 2025. They let Sam Darnold walk in free agency after his breakout season and after leading the team to a bunch of wins and a trip to the playoffs. And there's a lot to like about JJ McCarthy. He was a winner at Michigan. He's a very solid pocket passer with good accuracy and a history of performing well in a pro-style offense. But he's not just a statue in the pocket. He has real athleticism to extend the play, throw on the run, even pick up chunk plays as a runner. His athleticism is such an underrated part of his game, and it's a big reason why he's such a value in drafts right now. Now he finds himself in the absolute best situation a young quarterback could ask for. He's got an elite offensive play caller, head coach in Kevin O'Connell. He's surrounded by some of the best weapons in the game: Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones. And the team invested a ton into upgrading the offensive line this offseason. They signed Ryan Kelly and Will Fries in free agency. They spent a first-round pick on guard Donovan Jackson. Plus, they're getting left tackle Christian Darrisaw back from last year's injury. JJ McCarthy is set up for success in the best way possible. This should be a pass-centric offense, one that is proven to generate a ton of production from the quarterback position. I mean, just look at what Sam Darnold did last year. He was a top 10 fantasy quarterback in this offense. JJ McCarthy can come in and do the same, if not better. Sticking with quarterback, probably my favorite sleeper quarterback of the year, Drake Maye. Drake Maye was the 3rd overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft, and he flashed as a rookie. After taking over the starting job from Jacoby Brissett in week 6, Drake Maye threw for 2,276 yards and 15 touchdowns, while adding 421 yards on the ground and 2 rushing touchdowns. He did that despite incompetent coaching and the worst offensive line of football and probably the worst cast of weapons around him as well. Now he's entering his 2nd season with real NFL coaches running that program, a proven offensive coordinator, Stephon Diggs as his wide receiver 1, plus 2 explosive rookies with Kyle Williams, the wide receiver in the 3rd round, and all-purpose running back Trevion Henderson, who they took in the 2nd round. The Patriots also made significant upgrades to the offensive line. They drafted left tackle Will Campbell at number 4 overall. They signed Garrett Bradbury as center and right tackle Morgan Moses in free agency. Everything is aligning for Drake Maye to be a top 12 quarterback in 2025. I mean, even without all the things the team has surrounded him with this offseason, he still managed to score as a QB1 4 times in 2024. And he dropped outside the top 18 just once if you don't count the game where he left in the second quarter with a concussion. And Drake Maye showed some good metrics last year, including top 5 in pressure completion percentage and number 2 in player profiler's rushing EPX rating as a runner, which measures explosive plays versus other players across the league. In fact, Drake Maye finished number 4 all time in yards per carry by a quarterback in a single season. 1 and 2 are Michael Vick, 3 is Kyler Murray, and it's 4 Drake Maye. And yet he did this despite the Patriots coaching staff refusing to call designed runs for their quarterback. It happened one time all year. One time the Patriots called a run designed for Drake Maye. Everything else came on scrambles. I imagine that will change in 2025 under the new regime. They're going to do a better job of taking advantage of Drake Maye's dual threat ability, which just means more rushing upside for a guy who ran for more than 1,100 yards over his final 2 seasons at North Carolina. And we know they're willing to draw up run plays for their quarterback because back when Cam Newton was the quarterback for the Patriots, Josh McDaniels was the offensive coordinator. They designed a lot of runs for Cam Newton, especially in the red zone. I'm guessing some of those plays are going to be implemented for Drake Maye. I'm ranking Drake Maye this year ahead of Patrick Mahomes, ahead of Justin Herbert, ahead of Baker Mayfield. He is going to break out in his second season and be a top 10 fantasy quarterback. And if we like Drake Maye, we gotta like some of his pass catchers. How about his rookie third-round wide receiver, Kyle Williams? The Patriots were in desperate need of weapons for Drake Maye this offseason, and one of the ways they addressed that issue was drafting wide receiver Kyle Williams in the 3rd round. Williams joins a thin wide receiver depth chart that includes a recovering and aging Stephon Diggs, Demario Douglas, Kendrick Bourne, and a couple of failed rookie picks from a year ago. He has a chance to play a significant role from day one with this team. Kyle Williams brings an explosive element to a Patriots offense in desperate need for some playmaking ability. He will be a versatile weapon who can line up in the slot or out wide. He will win with speed vertically as well as create plays after the catch. The team will enjoy getting the ball in his hands quickly on screens and letting him get to work. The way things are looking in training camp, it looks like Kyle Williams is in competition with Mac Hollins and Kayshon Boutte to be the team's X receiver, while Stephon Diggs plays the Y and Demario Douglas mans the slot. With a 4.4 40 time, Kyle Williams adds an element of speed that the New England offense hasn't seen in years. That will pair well with Drake Maye's strong arm and beautiful deep ball. And we've seen the two connect for several long touchdowns in training camp already. While we don't often see 3rd-round wide receivers have big rookie seasons, the path is absolutely there for Kyle Williams to be an outlier. Take a late-round flyer on him and monitor how this Patriots wide receiver room plays out. He certainly has the most upside on that depth chart. Sticking with another rookie, let's go to the running back position. Head down to Dallas and talk about Jaydon Blue. Jaydon Blue was a very interesting draft pick for the Cowboys in the 5th round. The team invested almost nothing into the running back position this offseason, adding just Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders while losing Rico Dowdle. There is opportunity for anyone to step into that backfield, carve out a significant role. And Blue is for sure the most athletic and explosive of the group. He's almost certain to play an immediate role as a rookie with a depth chart that looks like that. Blue is your undersized, explosive runner who is athletic and dynamic in the receiving game. He's dangerous in space with 4.38 wheels and impressive open field elusiveness. Once he has the ball in his hands in space, look out. I think the plan for Jaydon Blue is to come in, be a significant contributor in year 1 as part of a split backfield with a bigger grinder back like a Javonte Williams or Miles Sanders or even fellow rookie Phil Maffa. At worst, he should be the team's 3rd down running back and work in some change of pace duties as well. But at best, Jaydon Blue is leading a committee and giving us RB2 production in fantasy football. Let's talk about a tight end. Another rookie, Elijah Arroyo of the Seahawks. I like this Seahawks landing spot for Elijah Arroyo after the NFL draft. I said he'll have some competition in Noah Fant and AJ Barner, but it wasn't anything he couldn't get over. And now he's already beaten out Noah Fant, given that the team released him at the start of training camp. So now there's 2 pretty clear paths for Elijah Arroyo to play a significant role in 2025. That's one is beating out AJ Barner as the team's tight end 1, or as Seahawks coaches have already indicated, playing more of a wide receiver role in that offense. Either way, it sounds like he's going to be on the field, and there's not a lot in terms of target competition in the Seattle offense once you get past Jackson Smith-Njigba. And Elijah Arroyo has the upside to be a playmaker. He struggled with injuries during his college career, but there's a lot of juice left to squeeze out of his game. He has good size at 250 pounds, with enough athleticism to be a difference maker at the position. Elijah Arroyo has a massive catch radius and the ball skills of a wide receiver. He's an explosive player with the ball in his hands as a run after catch weapon. Arroyo is a smooth route runner who can create as much separation down the field as he does underneath. He will need to develop as a blocker if he's going to become a true all-purpose tight end. For now, though, he projects as more of a big slot who will be used as a receiving weapon. There's already been buzz about him at training camp. Sounds like he's really coming out strong. So if you play in a deep league and want to stash a tight end with upside to break out in a big way, you should consider Elijah Arroyo. Let's go back to the running back position. We're sticking with the rookies for now. How about Jacory Croskey-Merritt in Washington? Jacory Croskey-Merritt is absolutely a name we need to watch throughout the rest of training camp and preseason. He was the 7th round rookie of the Commanders, despite not being able to play college football in 2024 due to eligibility issues. In his final season at New Mexico in 2023, Croskey-Merritt ran for 1,190 yards and scored 18 touchdowns on fewer than 200 touches. This is a guy with good speed, elite burst and vision, with the ability to change direction on a dime and make defenders miss in the open field. He joins a running back room that is begging for someone like Jacory Croskey-Merritt to come in and take over. Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler are fine, but they're far from difference makers at this point in their career. And Coach Dan Quinn has already said that Croskey-Merritt is off to a really good start. That's a quote. And the rookie has been getting some reps with the ones in training camp already as well. The beat reporters are hyping Jacory Croskey-Merritt up almost every day with claims he is looking like the best running back on the team so far. This is an offense we want pieces of. Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel. It's going to be a fun group, and they're going to score a lot of points. You add in a young, fresh, explosive running back to that backfield, and we are cooking. Take Jacory Croskey-Merritt in the final rounds of deep leagues, or at least monitor his progress and be ready to put in a waiver claim before your league mates catch on. Let's put a pause on the rookie talk for a moment and talk about Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk is coming off a really rough final season in Jacksonville that saw him miss 9 games with a broken collarbone. Prior to that, he wasn't exactly putting up impressive numbers in a struggling offense and in the shadows of rookie breakout star Brian Thomas Jr. However, Christian Kirk proved he still got it by ranking number 2 in Player Profiler's route win rate metric, and he was number 1 in win rate versus man coverage. He's now in Houston, where he will operate as the primary slot guy in the CJ Stroud-led offense. He has a real shot at being number 2 on the team in targets behind Nico Collins, and this is a much better offense with a better quarterback than he was stuck with in Jacksonville. But even so, Christian Kirk had some really productive years with both the Jaguars and the Cardinals. In fact, Christian Kirk averaged over 12 fantasy points per game in each of the 3 seasons prior to 2024, including a 14.2 points per game season in 2022 on the back of 84 receptions, 1,108 receiving yards, and 8 touchdowns. Now he's healthy again and should have a fairly significant role in a pass-friendly offense in Houston. Yet no one is drafting him in fantasy football despite legitimate upside to score top 36, even top 30 at the position. I got another tight end for you. How about Theo Johnson of the Giants? He was a 4th round pick in 2024. He was a really good prospect coming out of Penn State. He was part of why Tyler Warren didn't fully break out until his final season. Johnson had an immediate role as a rookie, started 11 of 12 games before a foot injury ended his season. But when he was healthy, he was out there. He played more than 80% of the snaps in 9 of his 12 games. And he was really starting to come on over the final month of the season. He had at least 35 yards in each of his last 5 games, including 2 over 50 yards. He was the tight end 6 in week 9, which is part of a 4-game stretch as a top 20 tight end before the injury. He averaged 6 targets per game during that period. Now the Giants have upgraded the quarterback position. Russell Wilson is the presumed starter. Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart. We're probably going to see a mix of all three of those guys at one point or another. But all three of those guys are better than anything the Giants were rolling out there in 2024. But while they upgraded the quarterback position, they didn't add any pass catchers. That opens the door for Theo Johnson to be as high as the number 2 option in the passing game after Malik Neighbors, with only Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton as other competition for targets. And when I'm trying to identify the next breakout tight end, the number one thing I'm looking at is athleticism. It's a key identifier for tight ends more than any other position. And Theo Johnson is bursting with athleticism. At 6'6", 259 pounds, Theo Johnson ran a 4.57 40, which gives him a 98th percentile speed score according to playerprofiler.com. And he's in the 96th percentile in burst score, which measures explosiveness, 78th percentile in agility, and has one of the largest catch radiuses in the database. Everything points to Theo Johnson as one of the top tight end breakout candidates for 2025. Now that's wrapping up with the running back. One last rookie, Woody Marks of the Texans. The Texans drafted Woody Marks in the middle rounds, and he may end up with a bigger role than expected. Joe Mixon injured his foot during the offseason, missed all of OTAs, and has begun training camp on the NFI list. It sounds like week 1 is very much in danger for Joe Mixon. That could thrust the rookie Woody Marks into a significant role right out the gate. I know the team signed Nick Chubb, but if last year was any indication, he is a shell of his former self. Even if Chubb and or Dameon Pierce get action on early downs, Woody Marks will have the upper hand in the receiving game. Marks was a receiving phenom in college. He set school records for receptions and caught more than 250 passes during his career. He has natural hands and can run all the routes from the backfield. And once he has the ball in his hands, Woody Marks turns into a dynamic playmaker who will slip past defenders with ease. But don't sleep on him as a runner either. He just racked up more than 1,100 yards on the ground in his one season at USC. Marks has good patience and footwork to navigate his way through open lanes and into the next level of a defense, and he's a perfect fit in Houston's heavy outside zone rushing scheme. So if Joe Mixon can't get on the field, Woody Marks is going to have a chance to seize a significant role in that backfield, one he may not give up even upon Mixon's return. And like I said, he's good enough in the receiving game that he could have standalone value even in a shared backfield with either Mixon or Chubb or Dameon Pierce. He is absolutely worth a dart throw at the end of your drafts. So those are the 10 sleepers I am targeting after round 10. But now it's your turn. Who are your favorite late round sleepers of 2025? Drop your picks in the comments below and make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be pumping out content like this all summer long. And if you want more from me, you can find my rankings, articles, tools, resources, and so much more at yardsperfantasy.com.